Everybody, and welcome to Tuesday, right? We're getting closer and closer to Christmas. I'm just amazed at and kind of focused on Mary these last few days, how humble and how gracious, but how accepting she was when God presented her with his plan for her to carry the Christ child. She didn't complain, she didn't doubt, she just said, whatever, God, whatever you want to do to me. And that's my prayer. I hope I can do when I hear from God to do things. I won't want to complain about it. And that's my prayer for all of us, that we will do the will of God and then eventually be blessed by him, as Mary is even still today called blessed. So let me read from Luke chapter 1, verse 46 and following. This is known as the Magnificat. This is Mary's response after learning she was pregnant with the Christ child and then going to visit her cousin Elizabeth, who was pregnant with John the Baptist. And she was just full of praise for God. So listen to these words. My soul magnifies the Lord, and my spirit has rejoiced in God my Savior, for he has regarded the lowly state of his maidservant. For behold, henceforth all generations will call me blessed. For he who is mighty has done great things for me, and holy is his name. And I want to stop there and just talk about that, how grateful Mary is, not complaining that she's now going to be faced with all this turmoil from her friends and relatives and neighbors, no doubt, those in the church, no doubt as well, that here this young lady, this teenager is pregnant, not married yet, but yes, she trusted God to work out the details in her life and just praising God, and that as a result she will now be blessed and known in generations as blessed because of her obedience to God. But she's not taking any credit for it. She's just placing her trust in God, her Savior. I wonder how many of us, including me, complain when God gives us a task. Well, God, I can't do that. Well, God, why now? Well, God, I don't have time. Well, God, I don't have the resources. But yeah, here this lowly, humble servant of God, this teenage girl, said, whatever you want from me, God, I will do, and I will bless you. I will trust God, my Savior. We're all faced with tasks today that seem insurmountable at times, but yet as we look back on our life, we see how God has worked each and every one of them out. I can't help but think of how God has worked in the lives of my wife and our family, how there were times once we gave our life over to full-time ministry that things looked bleak. I recall a time when I was not employed as a teacher. After I got my degree and things, I was teaching for a while, and then I was let go by a school. And I said, what am I going to do, God? And here I was, wanting to take care of my family. And yet he allowed me to take on some jobs, not high-paying jobs in the least, but yet God provided for us for 2-3 years in that period of time. I worked various jobs before care, after care, teaching at a small little local school, and actually cleaning a elementary school on my own at night. With the help of my wife and kids at times when they have big jobs to do. But yet God provided, even in the smallest of ways, to keep us, to keep us going on in our life. And never were we wanting. Never were we wanting. I mean, we wanted stuff we wish we had, but we were not wanting. We were not homeless. We were not hungry. God always made a way for us. In fact, people have given us 3 cars in our lifetime. When we were in need, without even asking, people just come and say, I want to give you my car. I want to give you my van. And it's like, as we look back, and even in the recent past 3 years, as we decided to downsize our home and move from one neighborhood to another, God did some miraculous things in our life to provide us with the home we're in now and allow us to be able to give more and do more with less. And I'm just so grateful to God that he has finally convinced us over the years to do his will. We're still not there yet. We still fail. We still fail, probably daily in being obedient to God. But yet he is still faithful, and I will magnify him. And what we mean by magnify is we will make God bigger than our problem. We will make God bigger than the circumstances. We will make God bigger than the economy. God is bigger than the politics. God is bigger than our health issues. God is God, and we're not. And he's greater than everything. So as we look through the magnifying glass, if you would, we see a big God, and our problems become smaller as we focus on God, and we look at him and see, wow, what a big God we serve. What a great God we serve. And what a magnificent God we serve. So can we take Mary's example today? Young Mary, young, confused, probably Mary, not knowing what her future might be, but she's trusting God. Can we do that? Can we trust God, at least at this point, and try Him for the next few weeks as we go into the Christmas season? Trusting God, sharing Christ with others, and trusting the results with Him. God bless you today. Keep trusting.